Football, a universal language of unity and rivalry, a blend of raw passion and strategic plays. But what happens when this sport, known to foster peace, finds itself entangled with a dark, grim world of drug trafficking? Today we journey into a tale that intertwines the excitement of Colombian football with a chilling presence of one of history's most infamous drug lords, Pablo Escobar. Escobar's rise and his love for football. In the sprawling, vibrant neighborhoods of Medellin, Colombia, a young boy with big dreams, Pablo Emilio Escobar Gaviria, was born into humble beginnings. Who knew that this very boy would grow up to be the fulcrum around which an intricate tale of power, passion and peril would revolve? This is the story of a man who climbed the perilous ladder of the underworld to become the face of the infamous Medellin cartel. But amidst the darkness that clouded his existence, there was a beacon of light that never ceased to flicker: his undying love for football. From an early age, Escobar was drawn to the sport that would later play a significant role in his life. Football, for him, wasn't just a game to play or watch. It was an escape, a different world far removed from the gritty realities of his day-to-day life. As Escobar's reputation grew, so did his wealth and influence, but it never dampened his enthusiasm for the beautiful game. He would often be seen playing with neighborhood kids, a sight that humanized a man who was often seen as a terrifying figure. His love for football wasn't just confined to the dusty local pitches, but extended to hosting lavish football parties where matches would be projected on a big screen and guests would cheer for their favorite teams. Escobar saw football as more than just a pastime. He saw it as a tool, an instrument he could manipulate for his benefit. His love for the game was both genuine and strategic. It served as a bridge between his public persona and his sinister operations. The local hero who built football pitches for the community and the feared narco trafficker were two sides of the same coin. The team, Atlético Nacional. A new chapter in Pablo Escobar's life was on the horizon as he turned his attention to Atlético Nacional, the pride of his beloved hometown, Medellin. The fusion of his fervor for football and his penchant for power painted a unique tableau in the annals of Colombian football history. Atlético Nacional, a team with modest accomplishments, was about to embark on a rollercoaster ride of success and scandal. With Escobar's financial backing, the team underwent a significant transformation. It was not just about controlling a football team for Escobar, but a demonstration of his power and ability to influence and shape the world beyond his illicit operations. With an influx of wealth, the club began acquiring top talent. They were no longer just a local team. They were quickly becoming a powerhouse, not just in Colombia, but in the South American football landscape. Their rise was meteoric, and to the untrained eye, miraculous. The team was producing some of the finest football the country had ever seen. Their performances were stellar, and their success undeniable. However, this was not a fairy tale story of a local team making it big. Behind the scenes, the truth was far more complex and nefarious. Escobar was using the club not only as a symbol of his power, but also as a cover for his extensive money laundering operations. The influx of wealth into the team was nothing more than dirty money being cleaned through a seemingly legitimate facade. Yet, amidst all the darkness, there was an undeniable fact. Atlético Nacional was playing some extraordinary football. Their players, groomed and trained with the best facilities money could buy, were delivering on the pitch. They were not just winning domestic titles, but also making a mark on international competitions. They clinched the Copa Libertadores, the most prestigious club competition in South American football, in 1989, marking the pinnacle of their success under Escobar's reign. Impact on Colombian football. With Atlético Nacional's meteoric rise under the patronage of Escobar, the landscape of Colombian football was undergoing a seismic shift. Escobar was not alone in this endeavor. Across the country, other drug lords, emulating Escobar, started pumping money into local teams, lending to what came to be known as narco football. The implications were both mesmerizing and horrifying. On one hand, Colombian football was experiencing a golden era. Teams were flush with funds, which allowed them to attract and retain top talent, both locally and internationally. Stadiums were renovated, training facilities improved, and youth academies flourished. Games were electric, filled with skillful displays that left fans and critics alike in awe. A league once characterized by its modest play was now a spectacle of world-class football. Colombian teams were not just dominating domestically, they were leaving their footprint on the global stage, competing against the best, and often coming out on top. But every coin has two sides, and the dark side of this golden era was chilling. The inflow of narco money, while bolstering the quality of football, was corrupting the spirit of the sport. Football clubs became puppets, their strings pulled by the invisible hands of drug lords. Team decisions were often influenced by the sinister motives of these individuals. Club executives, players, and even referees found themselves in a complex web of narco politics, where the line between sport and survival was alarmingly thin. The dark side of narco football. Underneath the glorious spectacle of Colombian football during the narco era, a disquieting narrative was unfolding. Decisions on the pitch were no longer merely about winning or losing games. For some, they were literally a matter of life and death. Stories of intimidation and violence became common. Referees feared making calls that might upset powerful drug lords. Players lived under the constant pressure of performing, knowing that one simple mistake could lead to severe, sometimes fatal consequences. A poignant symbol of this dark side was the tragic incident involving Escobar, a talented defender playing for Atlético Nacional and the Colombian national team. During the 1994 World Cup, Andres scored an own goal against the United States, which led to Colombia's early exit from the tournament. Less than a month later, he was shot dead in a parking lot in Medellin, an event widely believed to be a consequence of his World Cup mistake. This tragic event laid bare the grim reality of narco football in Colombia. Football had become a sport not only played within the boundaries of a pitch, but also within the shadowy world of drug trafficking. It was no longer just about the passion for the game or national pride, it had become entangled with power dynamics, illicit wealth, and dire consequences. Yet, despite the dark shadows that loomed large, the love for the game endured. Players, fans, and club officials braved the dangerous climate, continually pushing against the narco influence in the hope of reclaiming the pure essence of the sport. The world stage. The intricate ties between narcotics and football in Colombia were not confined within the country's borders. As Colombian teams made their mark on international competitions, the shadows of the narco connections followed closely behind, casting a dark cloud on the country's footballing image worldwide. Despite the undeniable talent on the field, the underlying narco influence tainted the perception of Colombian football. The world began to question, were these successes genuine or the byproduct of illicit influence? Was the integrity of this sport being upheld, or was football being exploited as a pawn on a larger, more sinister game? The repercussions were profound. Colombian clubs and players found themselves under a global microscope, with every move scrutinized for potential illicit link. Sponsors became wary, international relationships were strained, and Colombian football gradually found itself isolated from the global community. Yet amidst the controversy, the resilience of the sport and its players shone through. Colombian football had to navigate through stormy waters, dealing with the fallout of its narco era, while striving to reclaim its genuine passion and talent, untarnished by external influences. The journey through this dark chapter of football history is not just about revealing the unseen goals of Narcos, but also about understanding the resilience of a sport and a nation that continues to fight for its integrity. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into an often overlooked aspect of football history. If you enjoyed this video and want to stay updated on more unique content, don't forget to like and subscribe.